Dear Megan, today is Thursday and I want to talk to you about anxiety. I can tell from conversations that I've had with people that I know about my anxiety that is not something that is generally understood. I'm going to start by just telling you basic information, just facts, and then we'll move on to what I think anxiety is and things that I think people should know about anxiety that is not really shared, apparently. All of this information is from the National Institute of Mental Health. I'll put the website down in the description. This website defines anxiety as just a natural reaction to stress. This can be beneficial or it can be excessive and have negative effects, which is when the disorders come in. There are several types of disorders. The ones that this website talks about are generalized anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, panic disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, social phobia, which is also known as social anxiety disorder. These anxiety disorders, and I guess anxiety disorders in general, are the most common mental disorders among Americans. It is currently believed that mental illnesses are just a combination of genetic, environmental, psychological, and development factors. This is the same theory that helps people diagnose heart disease and type 1 diabetes. Um, Anxiety is mainly created by the amygdala and the hippocampus. The amygdala is the communication center between parts of the brain that process incoming senses and the parts that interpret the signals. So I guess one part of the brain just gathers it and doesn't do anything with it, and then another part of the brain goes, oh, you just burned yourself, you should be in pain. And the amygdala just collects it and sends it from one part of the brain to the other, is how I'm understanding that. The amygdala can also alert the rest of the brain to threats, and if emotional memories are stored here, this can lead to fear or anxiety of specific things. The hippocampus is what encodes threatening events into memories. This, for some reason, is smaller in victims of child abuse or people who have served in combat. The website does not say specifically why. They say that they need to research it more, but that is an interesting trend. Anxiety disorders can last at least 6 months, and they can get worse if they are not treated. And they commonly occur along with other illnesses, including alcohol and substance abuse, which makes it more difficult to treat because the other illnesses can either mask the anxiety or make it worse, and sometimes the other illnesses have to be treated before the person can respond to the anxiety treatments. But therapies and medications are available, and with treatment, people can live productive, fulfilling lives. About 40 million American adults, which the website is defining as 18 years and up, will suffer from an anxiety disorder in 12 months. That's about 18% of the population of America. Women are about 60% more likely to have an anxiety disorder. African Americans are 20% less likely to have one than white people, and Hispanics are 30% less likely to have one than white people. 8% of teens, which the website is defining as 13 to 18 years of age, have anxiety disorders with symptoms that begin showing at the age of 6, and only about 18% of those teens receive help. Medication and psychotherapy are available, like I already said, and generally when people think a treatment for anxiety has failed, it is because the treatment has not been administered properly, whether it's the wrong dose or it's just the wrong treatment, or it just has not been given enough time to do its work. From all of that information, it gives you a good basic idea of what an anxiety disorder is, but apparently, just from conversations I've had with people, it's difficult to understand what it's like to actually have anxiety. Like, all of those numbers are great and it is useful information, but I just want to explain a little bit what it is like to have anxiety, at least from my point of view. I can't speak for the rest of the 40 million Americans who have anxiety. Sometimes people can have anxiety problems for no reason. There's mornings where I wake up and for no reason whatsoever, I'm anxious. And I will have problems breathing, I'll be nauseous, If it gets really, really bad, I will start vomiting. It is just not a pleasant feeling. And if I tell people that, I'm feeling anxious right now or I woke up anxious, they're like, well, why do you feel anxious? Was it because of this thing over here? Is it because of this thing happening in a couple of days? I'm like, no, I just feel anxious. And if I don't have any medicine with me, then pretty much my only coping mechanism is to go lay down somewhere and not think or do anything productive, which is a great use of my time. Generally, when a bout of anxiety hits me, I only know it's coming because I can feel the difficulty breathing. I can realize that I'm having to tell myself when and how much air to put in my lungs. And that's when I realize that I'm anxious. It's not because I'm actually feeling anxious, it's because I can recognize the physical symptoms. So, telling an anxious person to calm down is not really the best plan because they thought they were calm till they started having anxiety problems. Basically, just anxiety leads to difficulty breathing, nausea, vomiting. Sometimes I'll break out in hives. Um, it can be tied to a specific event, like a job interview or moving or school starting or something like that. Or I can just wake up on a day where I can just be lazy around the house and I'm anxious. It doesn't necessarily have to be tied to anything. I'm pretty sure that's why it's a disorder, because there's something wrong. I have found the best way to keep anxiety at bay is to just get my mind off of it, whether that's reading or Netflix or doing crafts, something like that. It can get worse as time goes on. I've been able to go from just major life events stressing me out to if I start freaking out about characters on a show I'm watching on Netflix, I can feel the anxiety symptoms come in. Generally, the best way to cope with it, if you've either already had your medicine and you can't have any more that day, or you don't have any on you, is to just find somewhere, try and calm down your body, try and take control of your body, try and get your mind off of whatever it was you were thinking about when these symptoms hit, even if the anxiety is not tied to something and you're just feeling anxious, getting your mind away from whatever it was you were thinking about. If you go from, I wake up and I'm anxious and I was thinking about taking a shower, okay, now I'm going to go daydream about this celebrity over here, that can help. I don't know why. It does. It's weird. So yeah, that is my little talk about anxiety. I thought I had more to tell you. I guess I just wanted to throw some information out there just because I've talked to people and I've been like, I've been anxious today. And they're like, well, why are you anxious? I'm like, I don't know. I was just anxious. And they're like, well, why are you anxious? I'm like, I told you, I don't know. So just from several conversations like that I've had in the past couple weeks, I've kind of gathered that anxiety needs to be explained a little bit. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this sheds some light on what 18% of Americans are suffering through. And I don't know. Hope you're having a fun time in North Carolina, and hope this video wasn't too much of a downer. Bye!